You study for hours, staying up late on exam nights, sipping coffee just to keep your eyes open. You're exhausted, but you keep telling yourself it's worth it. Then the next morning, it's like someone hit the delete button. About 70% of what you studied, gone. Just gone. But don't worry, your brain isn't broken. It's just doing its job. See, your brain works like a tough, no-nonsense manager. Anything you don't use, it gets tossed out to make room for things it thinks are more important. Now here's something wild. In Japan, students memorize over 2,000 complicated kanji characters, and years later, they still remember them. So what does that tell you? It means your brain can do it. You just need to learn how to work with it, not against it. Here's the truth. The problem isn't you. It's the technique you're using. Traditional studying, rereading notes, highlighting lines, it feels productive, like you're actually making progress. But your brain? It treats all that like the sound of a laptop fan. Yeah, it hears it, but totally ignores it. It's the same thing that happens when a repetitive YouTube ad pops up, and without even thinking, your finger just hits skip. Let's be honest here. How many times have you stayed up all night, highlighted every single page, and then during the exam, your brain just goes, nope, never seen this before. All right, take a deep breath. It's not your fault. What you're dealing with is something scientists call the forgetting curve. It's like an invisible enemy that wipes out almost everything you learned within 24 hours. And by day 3, only a faint shadow of that knowledge remains. Now, you want to know how to fight this invisible enemy? Imagine if you could hack your brain, literally reprogram it so the information actually sticks. Here's the fascinating part. Japanese students have been doing this for centuries, not by studying harder, but by studying smarter. Don't worry, I'm not about to make you read 100 research papers. I already did the hard work for you, and I've brought you the results. Right now, I've got 5 science-backed techniques that can train your brain to say, hey, this is important, keep it. Think of your brain like a samurai sword, powerful, precise, but only if you know how to train it. And the first Japanese technique you need to know does exactly that. It's a mental workout that turns your brain into a warrior. It's called active recall. Imagine this. You're studying for an exam. Your book is open, highlighter in hand, and you're marking every important sentence. Sounds familiar, right? But here's the secret. Your brain doesn't get stronger by reading. It gets stronger by remembering. Memory is just like a muscle. If you don't challenge it, it won't grow. Every time you force yourself to recall something without looking at your notes, you're basically putting your brain through a mental workout. That moment when your mind goes blank, when you're struggling to remember something, that's not failure. It's the same kind of burn you feel when you're lifting weights. It's the sign that your brain is growing. The method is simple, but golden. Close your book, grab a blank sheet of paper, and write down everything you remember. No peeking. At first, it'll feel like your brain's completely frozen, but that's exactly when new neural pathways start to form. Every bit of struggle strengthens your brain's wiring. See, in the West, people often treat knowledge like a file, something you store and forget about. But in the East, especially in Japan, they live with their knowledge. They train their learning, not just memorize it. And that's exactly what active recall gives you. The power to become a mental warrior who never loses what they've learned. Now that you know how to train your memory, it's time to learn how to grow it. Because having a strong brain isn't enough. You need to know how to build that strength the right way. And that's where the second Japanese secret comes in. The Kumon Method.
There's a fascinating secret hidden inside Japan's education system, one that's amazed the entire world. It's built on a simple philosophy, learning in small, consistent steps. Instead of facing a mountain of material all at once, you climb a small hill every single day. Think of it like learning to play an instrument. No one picks up a violin and performs Beethoven on day 1. You start with finger placement, then rhythm, and slowly the real music begins to take shape. The Kumon Method follows that same gradual path. Each tiny exercise is like a brick, and brick by brick, it builds a solid fortress of knowledge. Author James Clear talks about this same principle in Atomic Habits. A 1% improvement each day might seem insignificant, but after a few months, it can completely transform your life. With this approach, learning stops feeling like a tiring project and turns into a natural daily habit. And before you even realize it, one morning you'll wake up and notice your knowledge has multiplied. But let's imagine you've done all this. You've studied smart, stayed consistent, and learned a ton. Then after a while, you start to forget. So what happens then? Don't worry. The Japanese have a solution for that too. It's something they call the garden method. Your memory is just like a garden.
If you plant the seed of knowledge once and never return to it, it dries out. But if you come back every now and then, give it a little water, a little care, slowly it grows into a strong, living tree. That's exactly what scientists call spaced repetition, a smart way to water your mind. Instead of cramming everything in one exhausting night, you spread your reviews across time. Maybe one day later, then 3 days, then a week, then a month. Each time you revisit the material, it's like deepening the roots of your knowledge, making it harder and harder to forget. Japanese students do this perfectly. They don't pull all-nighters before exams. Instead, they follow a planned cycle of reviews that keeps their memory fresh and sharp. Their secret? They review right before the brain starts to forget, and that timing makes all the difference. This way, learning doesn't just stick longer, it feels smoother, calmer, and more controlled, like a patient gardener watching his tree grow, one leaf at a time. So far, you've trained your brain, you've nurtured it. But what if you want to keep growing even when motivation fades? That's when you turn to the philosophy that shapes the entire Japanese way of life. It's called Kaizen, the art of silent progress. If you've been searching for a Japanese secret to grow constantly, without stress, without burnout, it's called Kaizen, which means continuous daily improvement, no matter how small. The idea sounds simple, but its impact runs deep. Instead of drowning yourself in hours of work or endless study sessions, Kaizen says, just get a little bit better every single day. 1% better than yesterday. That's it. Imagine climbing a huge mountain. No one sprints from the bottom to the top in one go. But if you take just a few steady steps each day, one morning you'll find yourself standing higher than everyone else. That's Kaizen. Silent progress, but unbelievably powerful. And here's the best part. To start, you only need 6 minutes a day. 2 minutes of active recall, 2 minutes of spaced repetition, and 2 minutes of deep focus. That's less time than you spend checking social media. Yet if you stay consistent, those few minutes can make you up to 30% better in just 1 month. No stress, no burnout, just slow, steady movement towards a better version of yourself. Kaizen reminds us of one powerful truth. The biggest transformations always begin with the smallest steps. But there's something even deeper, something beyond practice and progress. It's that moment when learning stops being just an action and becomes a feeling, a state where you and study become one. The Japanese call it the Shu method. Shu, the moment when focus turns into art. True mastery doesn't come from endless hours of study. It begins with a calm, centered mind. In Japan, there's a concept called Shu, the art of becoming one with whatever you're doing. In this state, it's like time slows down. The noise around you fades away, and you're fully immersed in the flow of learning. Nothing else exists. The Japanese reach this deep state of focus through simple rituals. They study in the same spot every day. They use the same pen, the same notebook. Some even light a candle or sip green tea before they begin. These small habits might seem ordinary, but to the brain, they're powerful triggers, keys that unlock the door to focus.
You can create your own version of this. Pick one special corner of your room, make it your study space. Notice the light, the smell, the atmosphere. When you sit there, every single time your mind will start to recognize it. And almost automatically, it'll slip into the shu state, that calm, razor-sharp flow where learning feels effortless. The true state of learning. At this point, studying no longer feels hard. It becomes like a meditation. With every breath, you're absorbing knowledge deeper into yourself. And right there, where your mind and your work merge into one, learning transforms into art. In Japanese culture, there's a saying, learning is the gentle repetition of yesterday until one day you become complete. If you feel like it's time to rebuild the way you learn, then hit that like button and stay with us, because the next video is the step that might just change your entire path.